Hi there folks, it's Deni. A lot of really cool games have come out in the last few days. You know what that means? Of course, that's exactly what I'm going to show you today. Well, without further ado, let's get started. But before we begin, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Okay, let's get started. Let's start with Bloodhound. It's a bloody arcade shooter inspired by 90s shooting games that tells you the story of a brave member of the Order of Guardians of the Gate to Hell. And as you might have already guessed, if there is a gate to hell, there are also demons trying to get out of there. So your task is to confront this cult and destroy its minions and all these damn things using weapons and your supernatural abilities. There are several dozen levels here, and if you wanted something dynamic, this will be a great choice for you. And besides the meat exploding from the enemies, you may also come across some traps, and trust me, there will be a lot of them here. Next up we have Xenonauts 2, the sequel to the excellent strategy game where you defend humanity from an alien threat. If you love classic XCOM, then, well, this game is certainly meant for you. Your job here is to gather information about the alien invaders, fight them on the ground and in the air, develop your technology, and, well, that's it. It's kind of a fighting and progressing game. The gameplay here can be divided into two parts: the global map and tactical battles. On the global map, you build and manage your bases around the world. In addition, you track alien activity and decide where to send your soldiers. Tactical battles are played in turn-based mode on an isometric map, like in the XCOM. Well, visually this game looks quite old, but trust me, it's well designed, so if graphics are not the most important thing for you, go for it. Next up, we have the truly masterpiece game Viewfinder. It's a puzzle game where you use your camera to transform reality and solve puzzles. Well, the story here is pretty simple. You control a man who gets into a virtual world created by his hacker friend. Your task is to pass the levels using your camera, which can animate images and add them to the real world. So you can change the environment, like create platforms, bridges, stairs, and other objects that you take pictures of. There are a lot of levels here, and the puzzles are far from the easiest, at least they are not obvious. But isn't that cool? And now, welcome to Exoprimal. It's a cooperative game where you, well, fight dinosaurs. Yes, I know that sounds like it would be a quite uneven battle, but don't worry, because you'll have exosuits. These are special battle suits that will give you different abilities and weapons to fight the dinosaurs. There are 3 classes in the game: Warrior, Brigand, and Support. The gameplay here is based on exploring and protecting the abnormal zones on Earth. In these zones, there are strange phenomena involving dinosaurs as well as other prehistoric creatures. So your task basically is to kill all the dinosaurs. Well, maybe it's not a gaming masterpiece because there's not much content there yet, but why not just try it out with your friends? Techtonica is a slightly less dynamic, but no less interesting first-person game about construction on a distant planet. You find yourself on the surface of a new, unexplored planet, and your task is to explore its underground spaces, extract resources, build factories, and so on. You will start with simple tools for digging, mining, and processing resources, and then you will automatize all the processes. And yes, the entire world here is destructible, so you'll be able to tunnel to large ore deposits as well as create space for factories. The environment also affects the efficiency of your production, so, well, you'll have to deal with things like temperature, humidity, lighting, and more. Otherwise, you're going to have a tough time, but it all sounds pretty interesting. And if you're looking for a good horror game, I've got My Friendly Neighborhood for you. It's kind of a mix of survival horror and action-adventure game. Here you play as Gordon, a repairman who goes to the abandoned studio of the TV show The Friendly Neighborhood to turn off the antenna, which for some reason started broadcasting old episodes of this children's show with puppets. However, Gordon finds an unusual thing waiting for him. The dolls have suddenly come to life and become evil. Now he has to fight them, solve puzzles, and find out what the hell is going on here. The game is very much like the classic Resident Evil games, but more absurd. Instead of zombies and mutants, you'll be chased by colorful puppets that at first seem to act quite friendly if it weren't for the fact that they're trying to kill you. Isn't that cute? The next game is Jagged Alliance 3. It's a turn-based tactical RPG that takes you to the fictional country of Grand Chien, which is in chaos after the elected president has been kidnapped by the Legion military group. A squad of professional mercenaries comes to his aid, raring to rescue the president and bring order to the country. So, you have to control this squad. Each mercenary here has his own specialization. For example, one of them can be an expert in explosives, another one can be an expert in shooting or medicine, and so on. Also, some mercenaries get along well with each other, and others don't. And this can affect their effectiveness and relationships in the team. But here's the thing, be ready for the fact that this game is a real challenge. But if you like a challenge, why not? Another gaming industry masterpiece is Dave the Diver, and I'm not even exaggerating by calling it a masterpiece, because this game was recently the most viewed game on Twitch. But anyway, it's a casual adventure RPG that will let you explore the depths of the mysterious blue hole, catch fish and other creatures, and run an exotic sushi bar. The game will tell you the story of Dave, a young guy who dreams of becoming a famous underwater explorer. He gets a job in a sushi bar where he meets its owner, who teaches Dave everything he knows about fish and sushi. The game is split into daytime and nighttime. During the day, you go diving into the water and catch fish. However, you have a limited oxygen supply, as well as many dangerous predators and traps waiting for you at depth. At night, however, you run a sushi bar and serve customers. You make a menu of recipes available which depend on what fish you caught during the day, while you can use your earnings to improve the equipment, decoration, and staff of your restaurant, as well as to increase its popularity on social networks. I think you should definitely try this game. Next, we have Testament, the Order of High Human. This is an RPG with Metroidvania elements. The main character, Aaron, has lost his powers. He used to be almost a god, and now he's gonna get his power back. This game is a first-person shooter. As for the combat system, well, I wouldn't say it's incredibly dynamic, rather the opposite. But if you like that sort of thing, why not? There is a very interesting crafting system which allows you to create special items with special effects like slowing down time, increasing speed or power, and so on. Of course, this game is not a masterpiece, but it still looks good. Next, we have a Gothic 2 5D adventure game, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, which will tell you the story of Detective Benedict Fox, who investigates a ruined mansion full of monsters. During his investigation, Benedict encounters secret organizations, forbidden rituals, and cold-blooded criminals in a dystopian world inspired by Lovecraft's nightmares with a great 20th century-style jazz soundtrack. It's kind of a Metroidvania where you gradually unlock new areas, gaining new abilities and items. You'll be constantly moving between the real world and limbo using your connection to the demon. This game will appeal to both those who like to fight and those who prefer a quiet playthrough, because here you can fight using daggers or pistols, or you can just solve puzzles. Cool, isn't it? Starsiege. Deadzone is a new multiplayer first-person shooter where you are searching for some valuable resources on abandoned space stations overrun by hostile cybrids. Cybrids are some horrible things that were created to wage war on humanity but have gotten out of control and are now, well, a threat to all living things. In this game, you choose one of the character classes, each with their own abilities and team role, and then go to fight. There's a real bunch of modes here, including PvP. On top of that, the game looks pretty cool. What would Left 4 Dead look like if it had isometric graphics? Just take a look at yet another zombie survivors. Well, the story in this roguelike is pretty straightforward. A virus has turned most of humanity into zombies, and you are one of the few survivors. Your task is to collect resources, improve your weapons and abilities, and fight hordes of these monsters. There are several maps and several game modes. The special feature of the game is that zombies, not just run after you, but also shoot at you with weapons. This makes an extra threat to you, and it makes you be constantly on the move, dodging bullets, missiles, lasers, and other things. And yes, the graphics here are a bit cartoon-like, but I think it gives the game a special vibe. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found something interesting. And if so, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's been Deni. See you guys soon.